I remember at the club one time, usually when I see girls feeling mad uncomfortable, like by random guys that are like touching them weird or like, you can just tell when
So you go in and save the day?
I go in, I'm like, yo, that's my girlfriend. They're like, oh, my bad, my bad. Like most of the time, right? And the girls are like, oh, thank you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So this time we're at Ankle the night the fight happened, but we'll talk about that
Was
after.
that the big one?
Remember?
Okay. Yeah.
When you tripped and fell on the island?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw these two girls, like, they were getting hollered at by these two guys, but they were feeling mad uncomfortable. I saw that. I'm like, yo, this is my fucking girlfriend. And the guy's like, so what? And I'm like, oh no.
Never happened before.
I'm like, what do you mean, so what? Like, it's my girl, you know? He's like, so what? And I'm like, honestly, I just walked away. I'm not fighting for two random ugly girls like right now. Like, are you stupid? I walk away, and his boy was trying to calm him down, right? And I'm like, nah, it's not even worth it. And then the two girls later are like, we don't want you either. I'm like, bitch, I literally touched her arm, and it felt like fucking Chewbacca. Like, get away from me. Like, strong with this. Like, it was disgusting. But then later that night, we went to Earl's, like, after Ankle, and we ran into Steven's friends. You want to continue that? Like,
Yeah, you
okay.
start from
So I didn't come to Ankle, right?
No, you did.
You were there.
Oh, fuck. I have no idea.
This guy was too drunk to remember.
I'll lie.
I swear I've been to Ankle once.
We went to Earl's after.
It's when we fought with all your coworkers.
Yeah, I know that story.
It's the same story.
Okay, did I go to Ankle more than once?
I don't think so. It was only one time.
Oh, fuck. Okay, fine. Okay, we go to Earl's. We run into my boys who had already been drinking there. And then we sat down and we had some drinks. I think we were like wavy. And then what happens? We walk to like the entrance of the mall because it's like connected to Earl's, and Earl's is at the front of the mall. And then what was it? Two drunk, like, were they like French?
I don't know. They were old.
French guys.
I just remember the nigga in the Pokemon hat.
Yeah. We saw him every day after that at random ass places. We saw him at LC Boy, Aaron Mills. Like,
Yeah, it's like two French guys, like Fob.
Yeah.
And they were drunk and they were just talking shit. I can't remember too well. They were saying some pretty rude shit.
Okay, like basically they were fighting each other, but they were friends. We were making fun of them and recording them.
Yeah.
And then one of them goes up to one of Steven's friends and he's like, yo, you guys were talking shit about me? He's like, so what? And like, I swear Steven's friend just punched him right in the face. And then like he start running.
No. You missed the part where like he comes up and he's like, yo, you guys were making fun of us? And he's just like, yeah, so what? Fuck you. All right. And then like the other friend comes up to like help him out and he's like, yo, like respectfully, like fuck off. And that's when it started. When he's like, yo, how the fuck are you gonna tell me like respectfully fuck off? And that's when it started. Like your friend threw the first punch.
Yeah.
And then like me and Mark are hanging on the back because, you know, obviously we don't work with them, right? So then like everyone starts chasing these two guys, right?
Like 10 people.
Yo, 10 people are chasing two mans to just beat the shit out of them. And then like we like they completely run into like the parking garage of,
it's like the front of Square One, like where like the entrance to like Walmart, like that main street.
Yeah.
We like chased them
Like,
across.
Me and Mark are like outside and we see you guys like disappear. We're like, okay, fuck, like I think it's time like we go and run because we have to go help Steven out, right? And we like run over and these guys are like eating punches, like just bow, like left and right. This guy's off the perks. He's
They're like
grinding his teeth.
shirtless and shit. Like they're weird.
Yeah.
So then a random guy joined the fight. He had nothing to do with it. He was off the molly. The man's jaw was shaking and clenching. And we're like, yo, this guy's mad. He told Steven's friend, yo, punch me right now. I kid you not. The man punched him like fucking Floyd Mayweather. And he just stood there like this. Like the guy did not
the punch and did not move. Like he stood there like a statue.
And then like, bro, his friend pulled up because obviously the punch didn't work. And his boys are like, oh, calm down, chill. Like whatever. We start leaving because the security came. And like he was chasing after us. This one guy was trying to fight 8 people. And like...
Yeah. It's funny because we were like 8 people chasing 2 guys, and then it ended up being like 1 guy chasing the 8 of us, and we were running from him because
he like kept on
a crackhead, bro.
Yeah, kept on coming back, and then like just came to a point where like I think it was us 3
And then one more guy.
He was pressing me and you.
Yeah, and like when he was holding on to you, I went from behind him like, "Yo, Steven, record this," because I was gonna pick him up. I was planning on like picking him up and just throwing him like so that his head hits the floor. But before that could happen, the police came and then we just start running.
This part's fucked. Yeah, we start running, and we're running towards Bermthorpe for another.
Yo, L.
Bobo. Shh.
Okay.
We're running towards Bermthorpe, and then like the cops are behind us. We're like, fuck, like you gotta keep going, right? And then so I'm like, okay, I'll hop the fence.
Bro, like
there's nowhere else to go.
Bro, the fence that we hopped, like it was like
pretty like normal fence.
Bro, no, like it was on like a.
Okay, we were elevated. Like a story. We were like a story above ground, but we didn't know.
Yeah, so we just jumped it quick, bro. Literally all hit the floor, and we're like, oh, fuck, but we gotta keep going. Like Steven runs one way, Mark runs one way, and I run into the middle of the street, right? And I'm hauling ass. I'm running as fast as I can, but I'm only looking up, right? And like my foot hits like the island in the middle of the street, and I go flying into the road. And I'm like, no, like I remember slow motion. I'm like, no. I hit the floor. I'm like, fuck. I look up and I see headlights coming right toward me. I'm like, oh, this is it. Like this.
Nah. You did not see headlights. Like I was stuck on the floor like this. And Tom like, yo, Shane, get up. Get up.
How long is that? No, I actually looked up and I see headlights. And I'm like, oh, like that's fucked. And I got up mad fast and I like ran back. But it was so fucked.
Nah, that was fucked, yo. That was that ass fucked. The shit that we saw back like pre-COVID.
I miss it. I miss it.
No, I remember I went to Toronto once, and like this is a long story, but I'm gonna keep it short. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I went to Toronto. We're using these guys like it was their birthday. And I'm like, yo, I will get you a girl tonight. Just buy the bottle. The man bought the bottle, no questions. I did not get him no girl, nothing. He bought.
So you gonna watch this?
Huh? I don't give a fuck. So whatever, he buys the bottles, and like we needed a ride there. We had no ride there, so like my boy, like he's like, yo, like we have one option, but that guy was a hood man, and all his friends were hood mans. So whatever, we're like, nah. They're not coming, right? He's like, nah. If I'm coming, they have to come. I'm like, all right, they're not getting the bottle then. Keep in mind, we're sharing 2 bottles between 4 people. We're not finishing that. So whatever, I meet the hoodmans. I start pouring on up drinks, whatever. Night ended. And then we went to an alleyway. Like we parked. So our car was blocked. And we couldn't get out, right? So we're just chilling there, waiting for the car behind us to leave. And as we're waiting, the hoodmans pull up in their car. And basically, like when they pulled up, I'm like, I was so drunk. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is that? I thought it was an Uber or something. Some big 6'6" guy, like huge, comes out. He's like, yo, come here. Like, nah. I'm like, nah. He has a side bag. He's like, yo. He's like showing his gun, you know. I'm like, nah, I'm good. He's like, yo, give me your jacket. And I'm like, nah. He's like, give me your fucking jacket. I'm like, nah. His boys weren't even mad. His boys had knives. They're like playing with the knives in the car, like showing us. And then they come out the whip and they're like, yo, don't try running because we'll fuck you up. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, I didn't do anything, but okay. Like, so whatever, we're going back and forth. I'm like, nah, yo, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean it, you know, because I was scared. I was being pressed and I had no one with me, you know. And then whatever, he grabs my jacket and he like rips it off. At that point, it's in the winter. It's like -30.
This guy's cold.
I'm shivering like fucking shiver skin. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm shivering bare. And the guy's like, yo, I'm going to call LK. And if he says he wants the jacket, I'm taking it. And I'm like, please say no. Please say no. I'm like, yo, say no. And then...
It was LK, his gang leader?
Yeah, I don't know. Some guy, he just like, yo... I have a Moncler jacket. Do you want it? And he's like, yeah, fam, you'll get that for me, fam.
What the fuck?
Then I'm like,
you put him on speaker?
Robbing you for someone else?
Yeah, and then I'm like, yo, I lost the jacket. So whatever. Before he took it off of me, he's like, I was telling him to shoot me. I was like, yo, I was so drunk. You know, when you're so drunk, you don't even know what the fuck's happening. I'm just like, yo, honestly, just shoot me, guys.
You're one brave guy.
I'm like, just shoot me. And then he ripped off the jacket, and then the LK shit happened. But then after he took the jacket, he takes it off and gives it back to me. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yo, this is a life lesson. He's like, it's a life lesson so you learn how to not say random shit to random people. And I'm like, okay, like I just blessed you guys bare legs. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, he was in your booth?
Yeah.
So
like,
the guys in your booth robbed you?
Well, they didn't take
Tried
anything,
to,
but yeah, they could have. But it was fucked.
All because you said, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, literally all because they said, who the fuck is that?
When they pulled up?
But you didn't know that was their car.
I didn't know it was them.
That's so fucked.
And they felt the need to like press me. I don't know. And they had girls with them, like 2 of them, and they were so ratchet. You would think girls would be like, nah, leave him alone. They're like, yo, fuck him up. Fuck him up.
They're set up things, bro.
Dead ass, you know, chromas? Not, like, very ugly, but chromas. You know,
interesting. How did, like, so you got out of the situation, like how, like, do you think he was actually, like, did you see any, like, I don't know how to ask the question, but it's like, how did you get yourself out of that thing? You just stay kind of quiet and just hope for the best?
No, honestly, I was apologizing because I was scared because the man had a gun on him. But for some reason, at the same time, I was telling him to shoot me.
Did you get cheese at your boy who invited those guys?
I didn't get cheese. I couldn't get cheese. Like, yo, we were miniatures compared to them. Like, the guys I came with were like 5'4". The guys that came to us were 6'6". Like, it was crazy. Especially the guy pressing me. I swear, the guy's on like a linebacker. He's just like
50 Cent.
That ass huge. The guy was scary. He had a side bag and everything. I'm like, yo, that's a guy in the music videos.
Did you tell your boys though?
What, like the boys that were with me?
Yeah.
Your boys just watching?
No, they were watching the whole time, but I was technically alone. Like, they were watching me the whole time like mice. They're just like, you know, when you get in trouble and the teacher's like, yo, go to the corner.
Oh my god, that's chopped.
Nah, that was chopped.
So what did you learn from that life lesson?
Don't invite hoodmans to the club. This is why you don't go to clubs anymore. If you go to a club, there's hoodmans everywhere. Just make sure you're like this the whole time. Up against the wall. Don't be doing no stupid shit. Like, don't be talking to no girls. You don't know who they're going for. But since we're talking about girls at the club, like, how do you approach a girl at the club? Fuck you laughing about?
Like, your transition is jokes. But no, like,
Steve Harvey.
You go first. I don't know.
What was the question?
How would you approach a girl at the club if you were single or dating? I'm
He's never single.
Fuck, can you go first?
You already know how Shane gets the bitches.
For me, it's more of just like
Grabs him, bend him over.
yeah.
Shane,
it's a waiting game. Like, you have to wait.
It's not a waiting game. It's him saying, "Yo, play soca, play soca."
No, chill.
Begging the DJ to put the cue on.
No, like, if it's like soca or Spanish, like, I know I have it on locks. You know, like, as soon as I know it's that time, I'm like, I have no problem. I kind of just like, you know, I wait it out and I'll do my own thing, because like, when you have your own good energy in the club, like, people will just gravitate towards you. So, like, if we're doing our own thing, we're having a good time, like, and I see a girl, like, you know, kind of like drifting by us and whatever, like, I'll try to like stare at her and like kind of look at her until I get like eye contact. And then, like, when I know it's like, if they're for whatever playing like bachata or like soca or something, like, you know, like, I'll you know, touch her hand, like, yo, come dance. And then obviously, like, it works for me. And then, like, you know, from there on, like, it works for me. Like, I don't know. What's wrong? Why are you dying? Why are you dying?
Woo. That's crazy. This guy said, never mind. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I'm done. Your turn.
Yeah, what would you do?
I'm too scared. I'm too shy.
I have a really funny story. One time, we're in the club, and like, me and Mark.
This guy, there's a video of Shane dancing at the club with LeBron James.
I just cut out the whole section before you say that. Right, she was like 6 foot. Like without heels.
Wait, LeBron James or the?
No, you can't use that word.
Oh fuck!
Exactly, piece of shit.
The girl that Shane hooked up with.
Okay, the girl.
Not LeBron James.
I can't say LeBron James.
No, you can say LeBron James.
Okay.
I didn't hook up with her.
I don't know. She was tall though.
That night was a freaky night.
Yeah.
Was that the night that hooked up with?
Bro, you can't be doing this.
Okay, there was one night where I just got out of a relationship, and Steven bought us tickets to like a club event. We thought it was a club event. At the time, we're 17, right?
Was this the one we got
I have
scammed at?
no idea what you're talking about.
We're talking about the EDM thing we ended up at.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
And the guy.
Like up in Guelph?
No, it was.
Oh,
Luxie's.
yeah. Okay, Luxie's. Yeah, in Bond.
So we walk in and like, yo, like I just broke up, like my girl just broke up with me, blah blah blah. I'm here to have a good night. We walk in, and the crowd was weird.
Bro.
Weird. The shit that we saw, there was a section for like strippers, but it wasn't even like strippers. There was dead ass people just sitting on top of each other. There was girls twerking on the stairs, like. Like it was fucking
You
weird.
thought that was weird?
It was weird because like they were, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it like. It was just weird. There was a guy eating a guy's ass. Like I have a video
in the middle of the dance floor.
Like literally, he caught me recording them and he ran up to me and was like, I'm like, yo,
He's gonna eat my ass next.
this guy came up to kiss me. I'm like, yo, chill. Nah, dead ass.
Did you have a good night that night though?
Isn't that the same night where like the girls are like all the pole dancing and like you're at the back but you're trying to see? Basically, like Mark is recording. He's trying to get like footage of the girls like shaking their ass, but there's people like in front of him.
All right, then, bro. I think after all the cuts, we don't have anything.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, fuck.
I cannot say anything about my life without getting in trouble. You know that Ariana Grande song where she says thank you to everyone? Like deadass, that's real life. Like each girl will teach you something new. And I believe that like you should talk to like what? Fuck you laughing at? What I'm saying is valid.
What's on his lip?
Is it gum? My bad, I think it's gum. It's gum, I lie. Yeah, it is. Stupid gum. Even though there's small things that like someone that you're with might do, they're important because they can like decide the whole relationship.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a bad way. Like if something bothers you a lot and they keep doing it, like that's a big sign. Like it's a big thing. Is it still there?
I can't go anymore.
No, you're checking your
He
phone.
literally just said such an important sentence. It went on his phone. Was it that bad? Huh? Like you think if you were him, like you'd be in a lot of shit?
Yeah.
All right, till next time, guys. Bye.
I'm coming now.
Can you guys come?